come back to them in just a second. I think FG thought it was half-time. It's full-time
in the tie.
It's half-time in the tie, though. But, Kit, it doesn't help but feel that this has been a little bit of the story of City's season.
Yeah, it has. Like Andy said, we didn't play particularly well second half. They were the better side, but we got ourselves in front. You're 2-1 up at home, 10 minutes to go. Again, it's that game management, and we make two mistakes, two catastrophic mistakes.
Yeah.
And suddenly going from a winning position, you're now in a losing position halfway in the tie, as you say. You've got to go over there, which is going to be difficult, we know, but level peggings, as we said at the top of the show, I wouldn't have thought we were out of it by any stretch. Now, I don't think we're out of it now, but it's very, very tough now to go there with a deficit. Yeah, level peggings, I would have still quite fancied us.
Well, that's and even once when they made the first mistake, you'd like to think, actually, right, just steady the ship and just let's take it, and whoever wins that second leg. But to lose that third is tough to take. A lot of the goals came in the second half. It began, a very strong start from City. Haaland hitting the post, pulled out a shot. I think it kind of took a little nick, hit the crossbar. But then it was Mbappe, and I don't think he probably meant that finish to make it 1-1, Andy.
No, he's got really fortunate, and I think he knows, and his teammates, they were having a laugh and a joke. Just afterwards, they were all laughing with each other, and in relation to Edison going that way and it going the other way, because it's a freak. But it still got in too easy, when we're looking at us as defenders, and you either stay goal side or you're collectively all out, and the movement was half and half. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be really disappointing because it was too easy just to clip ball back in, and he should have finished it anyway. Although he did get lucky. Yeah. So that was a poor decision.
Yeah. I mean, this is I think the disappointing thing against a very good Real Madrid side who've got like an array of talent up front, a real goal threat. But the 3 goals we've conceded, one's been off his shin and it's spinning. Yep. It's a fluke. Although, as Andy said, getting too easy second phase from the free kick, we need to do better. And then 2 monumental mistakes from us. So they don't need help. They're that good. Yeah. They don't need help from us, and we've gifted them 2 of the goals, and the third one's a real fluky one. So it's like it's soul destroying really, but it sort of does sum up our season to date. But we still got an opportunity to go out there and turn it around. Yeah, it's a huge task now with a deficit. Can we do it? Of course we can. Yeah.
Anything can possibly happen. Right, we can now go back to the Etihad Stadium. Let's try for a second time. Here's FG with Michael Brown.
Yes, full time from the Etihad Stadium, and an end which is really disappointing for City, but a great game of football, full of goals, full of chances like we thought. It finishes Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 2.
Well, it's just an absolutely wonderful game of football. Yeah, I'd have rather have took any game of football that we'd have ended up winning, but we contribute. We played really well in a game that have top players. Phil Foden coming across now, he was the difference to go win that penalty, but all around the pitch, Haaland getting a couple, really calm on that penalty, but we just sort of ran out a little bit of steam in the end. The counter-attack was quick, it was slick from Real Madrid. We just made a couple of mistakes. At 2-1, I felt like it was there, we'd almost done it, but a key couple of mistakes cost us.
And what about this man then? I mean, the contribution for this man, especially winning the penalty, but taking on the fullback, doing what Phil Foden does best, and he'll have a lot of confidence going into the next game, because there is only 1 goal in the tie. Of course, we've got to go to the Bernabeu. It's tough. We know how difficult it is, Brownie.
We have, but you know what? We have to look and we have to understand what we've just witnessed. How do we learn from it? What do we do next? And what we have to do is take the game to them, try and control the possession. We were really defensively sound at times. I mean, that front 4, when they went at you, so quick, wasn't it? They were here, there, everywhere. We defended well. Edison made some really good saves, and we took the ball. I thought we were really quick, going forward, moving around. Savinho contributed, not only in the attack, but defensively also. But we're talking about the best players in the world at times, and we were very unlucky, weren't we? Because you look and you sort of go, we had to make a change. Akanji at half-time, who was really looking well.
And Jack
we had
as
to
well
go and do that.
Jack
very early, he contributed with that wonderful pass. Obviously, we're growing in confidence into the game. But listen, we take the positives. We learn from it. We've got a wonderful game next week. The sucker punch was the end, wasn't it? 2 late goals. We maybe would have took a draw and said, right, something to go at. But Now we have to really go on and do it. Can we do it? Yes, we can. And you have to have that belief in the dressing room. That's where Pep will come into his own.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're a team full of leaders and a team that likes to do things the Manchester City way. We've seen it on this pitch on the final day. Our blood pressure's been through the roof for the last few minutes. It's been really difficult. Hearts to be racing. Going to the Bernabeu, I mean, it's an opportunity for somebody to make a name for themselves as well, which this team have done over numerous years. It's going to be tough, but there's no reason why we can't do it.
Well, it is going to be tough, but, you know, we've got some world-class players who will say, right, let me get onto this stage now. Real top stadium, historic one. I think that's when we look at and talk about Real Madrid in this tournament. It's historic, they go on and deliver. But now we have to find a new hero, somebody who goes it different. We picked the 9 players who played in the Champions League. I said about experience in the build-up, and we had that. But ultimately, just a couple of lacks of concentration in the end, that little bit of detail. We got overrun at times in the second half, but then we recovered. So they're always learning points. Do we go in the return game? Do we go with slow build-up? Do we go attack them very, very early? That'll be something the manager's got to think about. We've got to try and obviously a little bit tighter collectively in defensive situations.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of football still to be played. Just keep the faith, Blues. We've got a Premier League game to come. Newcastle first at the Etihad and then to the Bernabeu for what is essentially a cup final now.
It is a cup final. But this is, you know, the next few weeks into this month, you just look, because we're trying to get into that sort of top 2 position to try and make sure we finish our league campaign in sort of a good manner. FA Cup as well. But obviously in this tournament, we didn't expect to be in this situation, did we? We hadn't been as slick as we would have expected. We would have been not playing even in this game. But that game in the first half had absolutely everything, and the second half obviously didn't disappoint, apart from the result from a City perspective. But there were certain positives in our performance that were getting better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great from you as always, not just here but on commentary, co-coms. We'll see you again soon, Brownie, and we'll head to the studio because it's full time here, but it is half time in the tie.
There we are, that's it, half-time in the tie. We'll look ahead to that in just a moment. We'll bring you the key moments at the end of that second half there. So we had the goal from Mbappe, and then kind of felt like quite, dominant from Real Madrid there for 10-15 minutes, but we singled him out and he went back and gave a fan a shirt. It was a moment of magic from Phil Foden, wasn't it, Kit, to get the second? Yeah,
it was absolutely fantastic feat from him and really positive, you know, and there wasn't probably enough of that second half from the team, really.
Yeah.
Such positive play, drives at him and sort of sucks him in, really, to make him the challenge. And he ends up hurting himself as well. So he's brave, Phil, doing it. But it's brilliant feet right on the edge of the box. Dances in there and draws a challenge and gets the penalty, but brilliant.
It was well taken from Haaland as well, because he did have to wait a few moments, which, as we know, mentally is always tough, but it was a beautiful finish from them.
It was a great penalty, and we said he's not in great form penalty-wise. He's missed a few as well, so he showed great character and took it really, really well, and it was a brilliant penalty.
Yeah, it was indeed. That made it 2-1, Andy, and then you're thinking there, OK, that's a great result we want to take to the Bernabeu, and just seemed like we initially thought maybe Ederson had slipped, but again, it just feels like an odd mistake or a slight mishap from him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard, you know, for the manager, for the player, for everyone else, for somebody that kept us in the game, you know, 2 or 3 tremendous saves, and you know, to legislate for an error like that, you know, you're squeezing up 3 of their players are goal side of your back line, so you're getting into a really good position. You're in a positive position, and you almost, you know, miskick it straight into a play, and they still got a bit of work to do then. You know, to score a goal, there's still got to be a save, and then one of their players who's on the front foot, who gets to the ball first, that drops in the box. So, you know, that's a real kick in the teeth at that point.
Yeah.
Because we're, you know, 2-1, great position. But then made it difficult, and then that sets up for that last 3 or 4 minutes. And we have seen this season that we are fragile going into the last few minutes of the game. And, you know, we were saying as the game was going on that, you know, a few players are coming back in that have been out for a while. Obviously, Aki's had to come off rest, and John began to look tired. Yeah. Kevin, who's not had a run of game. So, you know, just the physicality of the game looked to be becoming difficult at that point. And there was a few mistakes as well, you know, square passes that got intercepted. So you were just hoping that you can hang on and get over the line at 2-2.
I think with that first goal as well, I think with Ederson, the kick initially, but also then with the save. Now, it smashed at him, but he, like, chests it.
Yeah.
and it goes straight, obviously, into the path.
Yeah.
Whereby I know it's very, very quick, and I'm no goalkeeping expert by a long stretch, but I think if he gets if his hands are up and he even parries it away, pushes it away, it goes back to where it's come from.
Yeah.
Rather than it's gone now into the middle of the goal, straight to
Diaz,
straight to Diaz to finish. Yeah.
It was unlucky. But then, like you say, even there as well, I know we're bringing up the stats, but I mean, Real Madrid there, in comparison, you can see very dominant on the attempts as well. 19 attempts in the end here at the Etihad, and literally the final attempt gave them the goal cushion as well, Kit. And again, almost two mistakes, like a bit of Kovacic and young Rico, who Jude even said as well, had a brilliant second half.
Yeah, I thought he'd done really well. I'm not saying sort of off air, didn't want to tempt fate. I think he's done really well, and he had done. But it was just that moment of hesitation allows him to nip in, and then again, I think Ederson makes his mind up by coming out as well. I think if he stays away, it looks like we've got a defender getting over to put pressure on the ball. But by coming out, he's made his mind up, and it's then quite easy, really, to lift the ball over, and then Bellingham's coming in to tap it in. But like I say, just from those stats, losing 3-2 for what you see there, you think fair enough, but it's just the way it came about. It's being 2-1 up with 10 minutes to go, and it's making two bad mistakes for the final two goals. I
wanted to pick your brains on this, and obviously, as I said, and I think we're totally aware, and I will never ever question one Pep or what the lot of that team has done. There were 9 there that gave us the season of all seasons, and we know we've been unlucky with injuries. We've struggled with the back four, we said at the start of the show. But I can look back this season, and even in the last few weeks, Arsenal capitulation last 20 minutes. PSG, Feyenoord, Brentford, United, all seem to also be when we've done well and given them the win. What is that? Because I can't put that for me down to injuries or players. Is that a group mentality thing? Is it a confidence? I'm curious to try and make some sense of it, because it's a common theme. I think we can go right back to the start of the season.
I think, Kel, without actually being in the changing room and around the training ground and seeing how things are day to day, to sort of say like there's a lack of energy or whatever's missing from in there. But those last moments, we looked tired, and we looked bereft of a bit of leadership there and voices, and and people pulling people around and getting back in and demanding of each other more and more, and you've just named 4 or 5 games there, and they do stand out of. Just a lack of leadership at times. Just that to pull people about, take control of it. And if that means having at 2-1, if that means sitting into a deep block. And then just say, if you can break us down and you're good enough to get through us and something's magical, then fair enough. But you're going to have to earn the right to beat us. But it's time and time again, it's individual errors or poor decisions, or Rico can't get there, but he's been put under pressure. And I just feel managing that situation at the end there, even if it's a touch and hook it over your shoulder, in behind the back four. But Rico, when Kovacic, the ball comes, Rico should be going backwards. He should be going back to meet the ball and then let it run across him. But he meets it square, and then he's dead. And then it gets nicked. So there's just the rhythm. It's just, and that might be down as well to the injuries and the changing in the back four and the shape and all that, and just that lack of familiarity. But the positives, and Michael's just, pointed them out, is that if we get at that back four, in the second half, we probably got into the area of the final third on 1 or 2 occasions. We got a penalty, we've hit the crossbar. We have to get at that back four. And if we're in the game and it's very, very close, don't be content to keep the ball and just working it round. Go and ask questions of them, because they're happy. If you're a back four that are not together, you're happy if they're doing that. Just let them keep it there. That's not going to hurt us. We're going to go, we're going home next week. Let them do that all as long as they want. Go and ask questions of them, because I think they're weak.
And actually, conversely, is that also another positive, Kit, that if that's what we need to go do to them, which they are there to be got, is the fact now we've already got a 1-0 down, it forces our hand in a way to go at them, because we've got nothing to protect anymore.
Well, that's the thing in some ways. I mean, a lot of the problems this season have been when we've been playing well in a position of strength, we're up, and then we're conceding. And it's almost become a mindset thing. one goes in maybe, and we can see two.
Yes.
Quite often it's 2 or even 3 goals that
Yeah.
we can be conceding in a row sort of thing. So it's a different mindset now. As you say, we're not protecting anything. We're down. We're losing. We got nothing to lose. We're currently losing the tie, so we've got to go and win the tie now.
Yeah.
You know, to get back in it. So it's a different mindset. So listen, perversely, this could work in our favour.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
But it's
Always
still
look on the
managing
bright
it,
side,
isn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter if it's the 75th minute, we go 1-0 up. You know, it's just managing the game.
Yes.
Coming up with a game plan that stays in it as long as we can. But it's the games are so open against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
You know, it was a basketball game at times, isn't it? Because they're the two teams that want to go and attack.
Yeah.
And try and expose the weaknesses. But the weakness in Real Madrid is their back line.
That's it.
We've got to ask questions of that, and we will score a goal. We will get chances out there.
100%. And of course, we'll be bringing you that as well next Wednesday evening, that is. What does this do to Newcastle now? Obviously, does it make, you know, that obviously maybe dressing room's going to be a little bit low there, probably a little bit frustrated. How important is it that we're back at the Etihad, full Etihad there, fans behind them to get that win and hopefully give them some momentum, I guess, is going to be key as we head over to the Real Madrid.
Well, I think when we look at that bench tonight, Mikel, that's one of the huge positives. There's so many options on there now, whether it's in midfield or even up front, when we look at the array of quality that we've got there now. So, you know, it can be, I'd imagine maybe 5 or 6 changes to start the game, you know, players that are chomping at the bit that then want to go and play in Madrid, you know. So, yeah, it's another fantastic game against a very, very strong Newcastle team. But if we're at our best, you know, and we cut out these errors that no coach or manager or anyone can legislate for them 2 moments.
No.
You can't.
No.
Through your week, you can never envisage that that's going to happen late on in the game. No. Cut them out, and we've got the quality to win any game of football against anyone.
And that's it as well, actually. I guess having a game coming so quickly as well means we can't sit and our laurels and maybe, you know, sit in our fields a little bit, so to speak. It's like we'll come back to business and show the fans.
This is the great thing about football. This is the best thing now. You can't dwell on this tonight now because straight away there's another, and it's a big game coming straight away. So everyone's got to get their mindset on that. This is gone. We can't change this now.
Yep.
Now we've got a great opportunity to put it right next week over there. But, you know, first and foremost is Newcastle at the Etihad. So it's good it's come this quick, I think, really. Now, the worry is the injuries, Jack and Akanji, see how they are. Hopefully they're both minor knocks. But the fact both went off is of a concern for sure. But hopefully those boys will be okay. And then we've got enough bodies. But like I say, even with just what we had on the bench tonight, like you say, you can freshen up, start different people and still put out a very, very strong team. Yeah, lovely stuff, gents. Well, there we go. I'll be with you on Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff against Newcastle. So we're bringing you all the build-up. And, of course, we've got our boys, our academy are in action tomorrow in the UEFA Youth League. Do not miss that. You can see it here. We've faced Midtjylland. We are going to be... it's a 1 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be on air from 12:45. You can get that on City Plus. Also, make sure you download the official Manchester City app. So that kicks off 1 o'clock tomorrow, UK time. Us in the UEFA Youth League. Very much look forward to that. Well, gents, not the result, but as always, pleasure to be sat alongside you. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for the chat. And thank you to all of you for watching at home. Listen, it is only half time. Now we've got to go for it. And as the boys have said, we do know these boys are capable of anything. It is finished. Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 3. But we'll be back Wednesday night, and I'll see you on Saturday. Good night.
Do you think that preparation with the Youth League has helped you prepare for such a big game coming up?
Yeah, because you know when you just play in the league when you're younger, you're playing against English teams, and you know even though every game's a big game, but it's nothing like PSG when we play PSG and you know Real Madrid and the big teams that you watch on the TV and you think you know these are massive teams in the game. And especially now that we've got Real Madrid, I think it helps with not... Obviously, it's a big occasion, but not getting too amped up about it.
Going back to the Youth League, part of that campaign, you played with Oscar Bob, James McAtee, and all three of you are now playing under Pep Guardiola. How nice was it to kind of do that journey together from Youth League and the under-19s all the way up to senior football? Obviously, it's really nice to see the people that were around you back then that are here now. And obviously, there's different journeys to get there, but it's really nice to see that we're all here at the same time, and I think
all three of us just want to work as hard as possible, and we really enjoy playing. Obviously, playing in this team with the players that are around us.